So today we are starting this subsection. The more personally your boss relates to his job, the more personally your boss will take your challenge. Up to here we have completed.
जी
Okay. So you can start
जी जी
reading. Yeah.
The more personally your boss relates to his job, the more personally your boss will take your challenge. Great leaders don't get defensive. Put that on your bulletin board. Unfortunately, all of us have been defensive about something we have been challenged about. If you have not, it is going to happen. Just know that, and the more passionate and invested you are in the topic or position being challenged, the more personally you take the challenge. If you were to challenge me about the way I organize the files on my computer, I would say to you, have at it, homie. Make yourself comfortable. Feel free to sit in the driver's seat and go Martha Stewart on my hard drive. I don't take the organization of my hard drive very personally because I am not passionate about it. It is a bit of mess and I am okay with it. I don't really care all that much. But if you were to challenge the way I parent, or worse, the way my kids are behaving, I would instinctively and immediately and mentally drop a pin on where I last saw my boxing gloves. I take parenting seriously. Hopefully, my desire to learn and grow would kick in and help me listen to what you have to say. But your challenge would immediately put me on the defensive. It is natural that the more personally we take something, the more personal we will be with anyone who challenges it.
Yes. Thank you, Sumanji.
जी master.
Ramesh, you can take over from here. Give me a second. Yeah.
Yeah, Prakash, thank you. Okay, great leaders don't get defensive from there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Great leaders don't get defensive. Any change to the present system will be perceived as a criticism of past leadership. One of the challenges of changing jobs is watching what your successor does in your vacated position. If you come in with a baseball bat, taking a swing at everything you put in place, they come in baseball bat, taking a swing at everything you put in place, it's difficult not to take offense to that. When you change something I put in place, it's easy for me to think, who does he think he is? We'll see how that goes, but I doubt it'll work. I kind of hope it doesn't work. That's gross, I know. It's sinful, and I'm asking God to change this in my heart. But honesty is step one. When I stepped into the campus pastor role at Brown's Bridge Church, I didn't know what I was doing. That's not false humility, that's just honest truth. I had been in a youth pastor role for the previous 5 years, and before that, I'd been in school for the last 20 years. I had a lot of head knowledge about the Bible and a lot of theories about doing ministry, but I had very little hands on practical experience. I was in that campus pastor for about 2 years before I moved back to North Point, the original campus, to take a semester. About a year after I moved into the campus pastor role at North Point, an odd thing happened. because there's been some significant transitions at Brown Church over the years. Andy's family, my boss, decided to step into the role as their campus pastor. This was the same role I had held for the previous 4 years. Now, all of a sudden, my boss is doing my previous job, and he was making a lot of changes. Watched him make those
Ramesh,
changes.
you are breaking. Is it only for me or Sumanji, you are also facing
Yes,
that?
for me also. Yes, little bit. And for me also.
Oh, okay, no problem. I am taking over
Is
from
it
the
better
next
now?
page. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is
now better.
good.
Okay.
So I'm taking over from
Okay. I
here,
think it was more.
from the next page.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From here, right? Of course, I watched. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, I watched him make those changes and I questioned everything I had done. Oh, that's what I should have been doing. I thought. With every move he made, I felt more and more insecure as a leader. Every challenge, every change felt like an indirect criticism of how I had been leading. Though, through much processing and inner dialogue, I came to the conclusion that every leader does what seems right to them in the moment. As easy as it was for his changes to feel like criticism, I could not let his changes be an indictment of I, what I had done. If I felt indirectly criticized by his changes, I am guessing other leaders I have worked for could have felt indirectly criticized by changes I have made. When a leader is feeling criticized by change, it does not mean they are a leader driven solely by insecurity. Just know and assume that most leaders struggle with feeling indirectly criticized by change. We need to know that assume that most leaders feel struggle with the feeling indirectly criticized by change. Put yourself in that position. Would not you perceive changes to a system you have put in place and led for years as a criticism of your past leadership? This is the question that we need to ask. Would not you perceive changes to a system you have put in place and led for years as a criticism of your past leadership? Yeah, that will come.
That's a natural, yeah, that's a natural thing, at least in the Western education system.
Yeah. When you challenge what is, others perceive that as a criticism of who was. This does not mean you should not challenge. This does not mean we should not challenge. It just means you need to understand how it might feel to be challenged and be sure to communicate with that in mind. Very, very important point. That means putting ourselves in the other's shoes will help us to frame our communication better, empathetically. Knowing that challenging up and raising questions about the status quo is difficult does not change the fact that you should do it when necessary, but it may change how you do it. It can inform your timing, the way you approach the topic and present your challenge, and the tone of your voice as you share. Do not underestimate the power of awareness. It's first aid for ignorance. Remember what G.I.
Joe,
taught Joe taught us in the 80s. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Knowing is half the battle, and doing is just half. The next section is the chick peel and makes it how big it is. Quite big. Okay. So it's about to be 2 p.m. One last minute if anyone wants to share anything. Otherwise, we are done for the day. And tomorrow, let's join exactly at 1:45 so that we can cover a little more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this thing is about the typical feeling of, if I'm in charge of a team or I'm a leader of somewhere, and then after me there's a new leader, and you're still with the company for especially, then if there are a lot of changes being made and they made without you being informed or updated or you consulted especially, it is natural for us to think that we're being made wrong. Because
Yeah.
you get
Another
attached
thing is
to.
like it need not to be like someone has to taken over your position and then questioning. Sometimes your boss also can question you about
Mm,
the way you led and brought up the team where it is now. The boss
yeah,
might ask with an intention to make further improvement, but when we get challenged, we feel that it is the question is directly coming to us because we are incompetent. So we need
yeah,
to there are two aspects of it. We need to first understand that there is a positive aspect behind it. There could be a positive aspect behind it. Instead of assuming the negative part, we should not actually feel intimidated. And the other part is the person who is challenging, that person also should understand empathetically ki it will be definitely uh, when I challenge the other person's, it is a question to his quality of leadership, so I need to be more empathetic.
yeah, yeah. In fact, if there are old leaders around, then maybe I would definitely at least put in a word in case he has some influence, and if he's been ethical or genuine, I would definitely put in a word and say, look, I'm doing this for these reasons. Please don't mind, or please understand, something like that.
Yeah,
If he's still in an influential position, or if he is been genuine and honest, yes, I definitely would at least keep him in the loop.
right. Okay, great. Thank you all for joining. Let's meet again tomorrow. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, Bikash ji. Thank you.